Hey, it's Tim Patterson, Trade Show Guy. Let's talk about something which is actually one of my favorite topics, awareness, and related to trade show marketing on the trade show floor. Now, being aware of things I think is very important. Like, for instance, you're trying to lose weight and you aren't aware that the 10 cookies that you just ate were 150 calories each. And so if you were aware of that, you might say to yourself after the second cookie, maybe I shouldn't have like 8 more. So being aware of things I think is important. It applies to all sorts of areas in your life. Let's take a look at a few on the trade show floor. For instance, booth traffic. I think that most people really aren't aware of how many visitors they have in their booth from day to day, from hour to hour. And I think that's important to get a sense of the visitor count, because it can go up year over year, down year over year, hour to hour, day to day. So if you have some sense of how much booth traffic you're getting, you can kind of identify whether this is a good show for you that's increasing with traffic or whether it's decreasing, those types of things. And so I think it behooves you to assign someone or maybe a couple of people to kind of take a count, even if it's an anecdotal, casual count, so that you know and write it down. Okay, hour 1 we had 58 people, hour 2 we had 75 people. And so you add that up after the first day, second day, third day, and you know exactly what it is. Keep that information for next year. Number 2, engagement. This might be a metric that's a little harder to measure, but if you are aware of what a good engagement with the visitor is, and you work to create better engagement through staff training, demonstrations, or sampling, I think you'll have a good idea of what outcomes those engagements lead to. You can't control the outcomes, but you can control the behaviors that lead to the outcomes. So if your lack of engagement with visitors keeps your lead generation and engagement low, figure out what it takes to increase your visitor engagement. Next up is leads. Of course, lead count is important, but so is the quality of the leads. If you collect 300 leads at a show but haven't graded them as to which ones are hot or warm or cool, your follow-up is not going to be all that good. But if out of those 300 leads, you know that 75 are really, really hot and you need to call them within 2 days of returning from the show, and that 155 are warm and should be followed up within 3 weeks, and that the final 70 are cool, and put them on the tickler file for the middle of the summer when you got nothing else to do, or just email them later, then the follow-up is going to be more consistent and likely more fruitful. So be aware of how valuable each lead is. I think booth staff is important. You need to be aware of that. If you have a booth staff that's trained on how to interact with visitors and how to be more aware of who's in the booth, your results can only improve. Booth staff training is one of the key factors to success. Do you have a booth staff that is aware of what they need to do, how they need to do it, and how to engage with visitors? Next up would be competition. Awareness of competition may seem, kind of secondary to your company's immediate success at any given trade show, but look at it this way. You got a lot of competitors there. They are aware of who you are. They are aware of how you present yourself, so you should be aware of how they present themselves, what products they have, what's new, what's not, how those products are branded. So take a look. Make some time to walk through the hall, maybe before they open, or if you get time during the show, see how they interact with people. So be aware of what your competition is doing. And the next thing, of course, is be aware of how your exhibit looks compared to them. It might be that you think your exhibit is great. You look at the others, their direct competitors, you go, man, they got a really nice exhibit. We need to step up our game. Or it could be the opposite. You may think your exhibit is not that good, but when compared to a lot of others, you go, we actually got it going pretty well here. So be aware of all of those things. I think it's very, very important. So that's a quick look at what awareness might be. Check us out at TradeshowGuy.net. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what your competition is doing. Be aware of what's going on in your booth. And I think that'll help your trade show marketing success along the way.